So welcome back. This is number 86 of the Darkness Delight Godcast. If you're coming back to join me again, welcome back in. This one is going to be called Uplifted, and I'm going to be talking about the event on Sunday, the recent Rise Scotland, the Wellbeing Experience. And I did a wee reel earlier on, which I will put out, and I was kind of going to capture it and talk about it. And it's been a real kind of process since it finished on Sunday. It's been an amazing event, probably the most successful one that I've done to this date, that we've done to this date. And it's been great. This is Thursday now, and great to reflect and see all the stuff that's been coming in and have a wee bit of space. This is the first day where I've kind of started to slow down. It was really interesting, that one, because I didn't get tired after it. A lot of times when I do big events, I'm absolutely like I've been fired out of a cannon, I'm burst, and it wasn't like that this time. And I was, even later on that night, we went for a bite to eat after it, and poor Michael, God bless him, he only get about 20 minutes off. And I was already thinking about what's next. And in fact, this podcast was almost going to be called What's Next. Because when we do something like that, when we did what we did on Sunday and people got what they got, then straight away you need to be thinking about, okay, that was amazing, but what else can we do? What's the next level? I'm always trying to make it bigger and better. That's a constant striving to keep going with this. And the way that whole event came together and how quick it came together, that was inside probably 3 or 4 weeks. From point of inspiration when it came through meditation, sitting over in Holland, watching the sun coming up, or sitting my eyes closed watching the sun coming up through my eyes, until sharing my idea with Michael and the possibilities for it, and then the way that he put it together and what he designed and how he got it out there and how he made it happen. It was really funny, the tag and the claim for Scotland's largest wellbeing event, free wellbeing event ever, was something that me and Michael decided. I can't mind who actually his mouth it came out of. I think it was probably Michael's. In fact, it must have been Michael's. But for the minute that we first it came to being real, straight away it was like, right, this is happening. We're not fucking about here. This is getting done. And it was quite interesting. It was funny. I was at a golf outing. First time I played golf since February this year. Myself and my son were doing it at a friend of my family, close friend of Jill's family. They're like kind of almost family to me. It's a memorial golf outing, and I was down there, and it was interesting, the people that were interested in this event that was coming up. This was just before the event, probably the week before it, and they were asking about it, people that had never ever asked before, and a lot of them, I think they know what I do, but it was a different level of interest. And one of the ladies leaned in. We're all sitting outside in the patio, the sun was out, so we weren't in the dining room, we were sitting outside having a meal after the golf. And one of the ladies leaned in and says, like, how did you know it was going to be the largest wellbeing event ever? And just as she said it, it was like, there was only a table of us at like 4 at our table, but just as she said it, it kind of was one of the where it just seemed to go quiet and everybody kind of tuned in. And the kind of the spotlight a wee bit, it was like there was more than just our table, like looking to hear the answer, it felt like. And I kind of stopped because I realised, and I thought, like, how did we decide that that's what was going to, how did we know that it was going to be like that? How did, to say that, like Scotland's biggest ever, when it was just released and we'd only, I think at the time we had probably 400 or 500 sign-ups, so we're probably a couple of weeks into the actual, the promotion, if you like, or releasing it to the public. But I never forget her face when the answer, and it was an honest answer, I basically said to her, look, we just decided, and that was the answer I gave her, we just decided. We decided it was going to be the biggest ever, and it was like, people were just kind of, they almost didn't know how to take it. But I was laughing about it later on because the power of intention, we just decided it was going to be the biggest ever, and guess what? We expected the best, we expected it to go in a very specific way, and we did the work required to make that happen. There was no luck in it. It was all like preparation and every single day evaluating what we were doing, and always with that, the singular desire to help people. That's what we kept reaffirming, to ourselves and each other. We're just trying to help people, so the question of all the things that could have went wrong, or all the challenges we might have faced, in my experience, nothing ever really goes wrong, and nothing has ever really went wrong. I think there was one lady once, down in Ayr when we did the Scottish tour a couple of years ago. She maybe had and again, you don't know what people have got yet. That's obviously going to come up, something on occasion of over 20,000 people, I reckon. I've took through these processes, probably 10 to 15 of them have been outside at free events. So of course you're going to get somebody that's coming in with something, and they may get an adverse effect. Of course that might happen, but we have been blessed so far, and I expect that to continue, because when you see what happened on Sunday, when you see the work that went into it, and then you the day itself and how it unfolded, and what people got for it, and then you get a chance to. It's difficult for me when I'm going through it. I'm working, like, I've not had a day off for this for probably the last, since it came through. It's been almost every single waking moment at certain times of this, day and night. My days have been very early. It's been 1, 2 o'clock sometimes. Not 1, that's a fib. It's been between 2 and 3 o'clock for the last probably 10 days leading up to this. And I'm getting a sleep once I'm finishing my creative process during the night. The meditation and the stuff that's been coming through has been incredible during the night. I'm getting back to sleep. I'm being able to kind of switch off again, but it's been intense. It's been absolutely intense. It's not felt like work, which is a wee bit dangerous for me sometimes, because I get so swept up in it and inspired by it that I never get bored with it. I never actually get tired with it. That's one of the challenges I face. I don't really get that tired. With this stuff, I get tired and bored with loads of other things, but this work, and especially when it comes to helping people, especially when there's now momentum, when you start to you create the idea and the momentum gets built by what we did, and then the momentum off the back of that, it's like, right, okay, let's fucking go, man. What else can we do? It's like, me and Michael have been talking a lot about that, the momentum of what's been built just now. The wave has been coming for a while. The wave's here. Like, how many people can we get and teach to surf? That's kind of where we're at just now. So the event itself would never have happened. I created it, but Michael's the man that made it happen. Where to even begin? Anybody that's been on here before and watched this before, there's an episode. I think we did one at the beginning with Michael and Fern, and tells about their story. I was very reluctant to tell my story on Sunday. I think this Godcast is probably, if you're interested in my story, there's now 86 videos. This is the place to come. And they have slowed down because I've not got that much I want to talk about now. I'm talking about when there's something to talk about, I'll speak. But for those first, probably 80, probably slowed down maybe around about then. It was every week just about. I was just like every single week I have something to say and something to talk about. And then it's kind of dried up a wee bit because I've not got that much to say. And I'm working really hard on other things and doing it in a different way. But this information has now been stored and kept. So if anybody is interested in it, then this is obviously, the place to get it. So watching Michael and Fern's story, if you're interested in it, and then who they became, who they've become, the part of the journey they're at. I announced on Sunday that Miss Fern she just went 12 weeks pregnant yesterday, I do believe. Which, when I said that on Sunday, like, Michael and Fern they're like Waynes to me, man. I love them. Like, Michael's like a brother, Fern's like a young daughter, but more like a young sister, but more like a daughter. I see her very much like my own daughter. The amount of times I'll call Eve Fern, or she'll turn a certain way, and because of their energy and obviously their colouring as well. So the fact of like where they've been and who they've became, and then since they've been back this time, very much a big part of it must be and is because Michael's going to become a dad and going to become parents, and watching their journey unfold and the way he's got background about this. Because that's been a bumpy road. Anybody that knows, it's not been easy. From the very beginning, when he showed up and then they showed up. Well, they showed up and then he showed up and they showed up together, and we went and we did this thing, we created this thing, and then when they went away and on their travels around about the world, in their RV, sold everything up and went on their mission, and now they're back, kind of 3 years down the road, and to see who they became. And specifically for me, because Michael and Fern are the ones that, for this to go to the world, I've always kind of felt like it needs to be them that does it. They're the ones that had the idea and the skill set, so they're like family to me. I love them. They love me. I'm hard on them sometimes, and they're probably hard on me sometimes, maybe in ways they don't realise, as I am to them, obviously. So it's been a bumpy, but it's been like a family relationship where no matter how rocky, shall we say, it's been at times, or even how near the bone or how like hard hitting it's been at times, all with the desire to help get this out to help people. The fact that they're still there, Michael in particular, no Fern, I've never ever tried to intentionally, be anything other than, but towards Fern in terms of gentle and her feminine nature, like absolutely. But of course, she's very emotional, and as we all are, me in particular. So over the years, there's been a lot of tears and a lot of snotters to get this to where it is. Michael said some fucking absolute bleachings. Michael said some doings. God love him and God bless him for being there. And it's a tough school. This is a tough school. The way that I'm trying to take this to the world, and the ones that stick round about it, it's a really tough school. We don't fuck about, you know. We're not playing at this. This is all I do. I take this so serious, you know. So it's serious stuff, and what I'm doing is documenting and capturing it. I'm not going to be here forever, so I need to capture it and leave it behind so that it can be you know, paid forward and other people can benefit from it. Michael's going to play a huge part in that. The documentation of it we've now got, and we're increasing it, making it better all the time in so many different ways. So the reason the day was able to happen was because of Michael McFadyen. He's became a man. He's became just an awesome man. Not that he wasn't. He was a boy before, but he was still awesome. But watching who he's became now, and watching how he's conducting himself, and watching the level of work that he did to make this happen, all for free. Everybody was for free. Did it on his own time. He said he was investing in it. And the investment he's talking about is into the world, you know, and getting the world back on its feet. That's what I believe he's talking about, as well as, you know, what he's doing with this work. So thanks to Michael for making it happen. Thanks to the team. There was 13, I think, all in. I can't count them just now. But there was the inner circle, the ones that are that know the way, the ones that are in the community, the ones that are there to help, to assist the whole space. Again, a lot of people won't know what I'm talking about with that, but these people have been through this stuff many times on their own. They have been in situations where I've been talking and people have needed assistance, you know, whether it's support or in any level, whether it's emotional support or, you know, just a shoulder to greet into. Sometimes you just need a hug, a wee bit of love. God knows they're good at all that stuff. So to have them there, it was perfect. So grateful for the team, everyone that was there, and the job that he's did. What a beautiful group of human beings. That facilitated, you know, the other thank you, which is the people that showed up on the day. Over 400 we reckon we had. There's not been an official count yet for one reason or another, but we reckon there's over 400. We had 800 sign-ups, just under 800 sign-ups, so that was us. It was official. It was the biggest event ever. We didn't need to go to the Guinness Book of Records or ask anybody. We just knew. And at that point, it doesn't matter who turns up. It's normally between half and 2/3 that will turn up based on our experience. So the fact that we had, I think it was 784, so just under 800 and probably just over 400 showed up is a great result. That's the kind of numbers you'd expect. And the people that did show up, again, me trying to make sense and think about it as you're going through it. I'm working, you know, and a really significant thing was watching Michael and him stepping up, you know, in the business, his own business, and the work he's been doing worldwide himself over the last couple of years as a businessman, and then hearing him now taking the mic at the beginning and speaking a wee bit about himself. He stole half my one-liners to begin with. The element of stuff he was talking about, I was kind of scrambling a wee bit. I had to chip him up and say, like, next time, go a wee bit easier, save some for me. He was brilliant, you know, absolutely brilliant watching him. And people getting to know him. People need to get to know him. You know, they're the next. Michael's 30. He's the next generation. He's the one that's going to be talking about this long after I'm gone, and hopefully, you know, still putting it out there long after I'm gone. So the team that held it together, the team that was there in ways that you can't even imagine if you did attend, and then the benefits that was received by the people that were there in attendance. And at the end, it felt like just a wave of emotion. It was very difficult I'm great with faces, I'm not so good with names, but unless I get round about you on more than one occasion, then I can start to remember names. But when there's that many there's a lot of new people there. I mean, it's just this wave of like relief, a lot of tears on Sunday, which again, I'm looking for tears, you know, I'll be honest. I would like to get tears up. Why? Because we know how to repair and replace and make better once that pain and suffering, whatever it is, does come out. But it was a lot of tears on Sunday. It was a very, very special place. It was a really kind of sacred area that just developed a couple of days before it because of the numbers. But to find somewhere new, Duckby would have been shut down with that amount of cars, so we moved it around the corner. We had ample parking space, and it was just something about the weather was perfect. Again, I don't even look anywhere. You just assume and know. You expect the best and know that it's going to be right, and it was just beautiful. A few people get their faces scalped a wee bit. I had it on my back, but everybody else was getting it. It would be a bit bad if I would be the only one to get a suntan. I could have went either way, but I decided to give you the sun. And the wave of just relief, the wave of gratitude at the end from everybody, just people giving thanks. Like, again, you need to remember what it's like when you go into something like that and you've never been there before. And even if you have been to similar stuff, there's a lot of that, people have been to similar things, but I've said it for the longest time, it's like, we're not fucking about it. The plan is enlightenment. The plan is to, once we get past the basics, dealing with the physical body and switching off your nervous system and experiencing peace of mind so you can't think. And then once you're in that space, that moment with all the over 400 people out their head, it was amazing after like 5 minutes and 10 minutes and 15, the difference in the energy of people walking in, observing it unfolding and all that kind of nervous energy. And then 10 minutes in, when people just go, all right, they start to feel comfortable, they start to feel safe. Once once Michael had spoken, it's like, just relax a wee bit, everyone's going to be fine, we're not going to eat you. We're just going to we're trying to help you, just relax. Once you can just very quickly, you can see the impact, and that over a larger scale is very powerful and it's very real. So when you get it to that point, towards the end, where we're all, in our hearts and all feeling really good, we're all experiencing well-being. Remembering how we're able to feel, remembering things like, being joyful. When's the last time you felt joy? When's the last time you felt like really joyful? When's the last time you had joy in your heart? And not everybody's going to get that, but if they don't get that, they might get gratitude. They might remember what it feels like to be grateful and who they're grateful for. So there's loads of different ways, that and things that are happening that come together, that when you bring people at the end, and they're out their heads and they've stopped and they're not really, they're not fighting the world, or they're not fighting the perceived opponent, or the dragon that's trying to slay them for the world, no matter what that is, the stresses and the strains of the world. When they get a break for that and they get a chance to stop and come in and go for the outside, all that, and then go, right, okay, so what the fuck's he talking about? And then you go on that internal journey and you start to go inside and start to feel, your emotions and even your physical heart, like being aware of your physical body and your physical heart and bring your awareness into your body. That can be life-changing. So when you add all that together, and we get people on a day like that, with the intention of that, then I always say it, I'm expecting the miraculous. And something like as simple as switching off your stress, getting a good night's sleep, that can feel like a miracle for some people. I've never had that before. I remember the first time my nervous system was switched off, and it literally felt like a miracle. It was like it was like a rebirth. It was like me being reborn. Like, what the fuck? What just happened there? Like, I don't need to be in that high octane switched on state all the time. That's not my natural state. I didn't even know there was an alternative to it. So it was fantastic. The people, the team, Michael, the day itself, how it unfolded for me. It was very different this time. I think now, I've been talking a lot to my inner circle about like people that have got my back, and like being in partnership. I feel there's partnerships, like business partnerships developing now. I feel responsible for Michael and Fern in a way I've never done before. The amount that he's putting into this, I'm leveling up and getting excited because I have 35 years business experience. So that stuff's exciting to me. Like now, it's like how many different ways can we like sales and market it to help people, and then how much money are we going to make? Because we get that money, we're already like deciding what we're going to do the next stuff, so we can help even more people. So there's not really that much can go wrong with that. I felt very different leading into it. The night before it, the Saturday night before it, I called upon the group. We have got a sacred space meditation called the Sacred Space on Zoom that's on all the time. And at any time of the day you can find people. In the morning time is when it's its busiest, between 3 and 7 is when it's its busiest. But the Saturday night I put a message onto our private group, the community group, and basically says, look, in the sacred space, let's go, let's get set up for tomorrow. And there wasn't many came in. I only put it up maybe half an hour before it, my usual, like kind of last minute. It came through and it felt right, so I put it up, and there was probably half a dozen people, maybe 5, 6 maybe including myself, that came in and made a meditation on Saturday night. So it started on Saturday night for me. That's when it really it kicked in. That's when it was like, right, okay, because there's a preparation phase. And that talk in front of, if there was going to be 800 people, I've spoke more in front of more people before, but outside my own event, that was quite and a lot of uncertainty about we'd never been to that location before. Wasn't quite sure how it was going to go with the people that owned that place. Luckily, it was we managed to slip in and slip out, and they benefited in many different ways. The next time will be different. Next time we will speak to them and offer some sort of partnership whereby if we're bringing 400 or 500 people, then they will benefit from it. Would be the idea. Everybody needs to win always. That was one thing I didn't really feel comfortable with. Was like we didn't really, whether we need permission, I don't know, but it's always nice to ask and nice to say what your intentions are. Turned out everything went well, and that wasn't really an issue. It wasn't a challenge. But the meditation the night before, and then the sleep I got the night before, it was really like very unusual for me. I was in bed probably 8:30, 9, maybe a wee bit later. Time the meditation finished, 10 o'clock. And I slept right through to 2 in the morning. Which somebody asked me that last, like, how long do you sleep? It was Ryan, and he just started laughing. I said, and it was that morning, the Sunday morning. I had a great sleep last night. I slept from 10 until 2, and then I managed to get back to sleep from like back of 3 until probably my alarm went off at 4:30, so I could get up and get ready and do all the stuff I needed to do. And he was saying that's like an Ibiza sleep apparently. When you go to bed at 10, you're just up there and ready to go. It's been like that for the last wee bit. But I did sleep really well before it. I didn't have like any anxiety, which I can, some overactive mind, and sometimes you can peak too soon. I've had that before, but I've like been in the sauna in the morning time and I'm flying at 3 in the morning, and then by the time the event comes at 10:30, it's like there's nothing left. I've had one really negative experience with that, so you need to kind of pace yourself so you don't peak too soon. And that was, my pacing was perfect. I've been leading up to, this event for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then from there was a real kind of stagnation, and it went stale the week before it. The 2 weeks leading, the previous to that, it was amazing. It was so exciting. And the week before it was like kind of waiting for it to happen. I think, kind of desperate to be here. I just wanted to get the ball and go into the pitch and start playing. It was like time to go. So by the time, the last few days leading up to it, and by the time that I was ready for it, I really wanted to get it on, and I was excited to see how it was going to go. Slept great meditation in the morning time. Woke up, just ready to take it to the world, ready to go for it. And it's amazing when you do something like that, the amount of things you would like to say is very limiting, very limited. And the time is limiting in terms of what you're able to deliver. I've got so many things that I could speak about up there, and the weeks leading up to it, I'm rehearsing. I'm doing mental rehearsal, but I'm also doing, mostly when I'm walking, I'll physically talk out in terms of what I want to say. I'm not standing in front of a mirror and acting and stuff. I'll stand in the trees and I'll shut my eyes and I'll imagine what I'm going to say. And it's amazing the things that you forget, and it's amazing the things you remember, and it's amazing that most of it I can't remember a single thing of what I've actually said during it. And it's always been like that. My number one, the way I've done it is to get into alignment, to feel good, to be in a state where I'm able to be happy and remember why I'm doing it, and remember my intentions, obviously, and then to go up in there and basically speak my truth and speak from my heart. I never ever like to rehearse anything. I can't read for notes. I had a big A3 sheet that I've got different, what I'm going to talk about on the day. I had it on Sunday, but as soon as I look at it, I glitch and I lose it completely. So always trying to speak from my heart, always trying to just, let it come through me, the inspiration. Even with this stuff, it's always one take. There's never any cuts, never any takes on it. There's never any splicing together or making it better than it is. It's one take. That's the way that I've always done it. And a presentation like that, obviously because you're up there in front of everybody, it's one take. And I love something I heard for the comedian Dave Chappelle years ago, where he basically said that he gets paid for the attempt. I love that. I get paid for the attempt, because I'm thinking about the things that what I did cover and the bits that I can remember. There's one or two bits that I would have maybe put a wee bit more emphasis on. But on the whole, I'm delighted. I'm delighted the way that it went. I'm delighted the way that it came across. I'm delighted because once I'm in it, and even the fact that the way to control the music, there's loads of stuff going on. When you're trying to, it's easy to present to a room of 5 and you've got your phone, you've got all your stuff there in your own house. But when you're up there and there's people going on about you, and there's power banks making sure the power's right, and the one point the microphone cut off, and then Michael's phone went. So there's stuff going on, and you're still trying to maintain, a professional performance. So on the whole, between Michael, myself, with the team, what the Vortex delivered on that day, I'm really, really happy. And the end results and the end experience for those that attended was almost all almost all, no perfect, I wouldn't say, but most people had a really positive experience. Most people came and learned at least one thing. I always remember when I started this, the man that got me into it would say, we just need to learn one thing, like just go and learn one thing. And, you know, on a 3-hour presentation where it's like a shotgun, the amount of stuff that's coming at you, and to be in that environment, you know, in terms of, you know, what we're trying to give you and what I'm trying to facilitate in terms of to give you gifts and tools and techniques is going to help you feel better, then, you know, it's like you're going to miss some of it. I'm happy the way that it came through. You can't please everybody all the time. I learned that within a couple of days. That's been very interesting. Woke up probably the Monday morning, and this work means everything to me. It does. I can't tell you like what I've done to get to this point over the last 30 years, and who I became, and what I see, and what I do, and how this work helps people. So it's my everything. It means everything to me. Outside my beautiful wife and my children who were there on Sunday, thanks to them for their continued support. Only one that missed it was Murphy, which she was in the huff for 2 days. And she should have been there probably more than anybody, because me and her have created this whole thing for the last 7 years. She's the one that should be there and getting the credit. She will be at the next one. I need my dog there. My dog should be with us. So giving thanks for Jill and the kids being there. There, I've lost my train of thought a wee bit. But the intention with it, and what people get from it, and the results, and after it, the Monday morning, it was still flying after it on Sunday night. Monday was the same, like, right, what's next? Let's get into it. What's the next plan? And there is a next. I'm going to talk about what's next in a wee bit. But then the kind of how much it means to me, and how much, you know, I put into it, and how much, like, we're always like no stone unturned. Let's see how much better. That's all I do, is try to think how I can make it better. And then you wake up and there's somebody put on a Google review or a Facebook review. Absolutely a cult. This is a literal cult. Please stay away. And I'm sitting in meditation. This was like 2:30, I think, and probably Monday morning, 3:00 in the morning. And I'm sitting and I'm going, this is where integrity. One of my teachers, Dr. Hawkins, talks about integrity. And he talks about how at some point you need to stand up for the truth. You need to stand up for, you know, what's right. You need to stand up for what you believe in. You need to go up and basically verbalise, stand your ground, stand your corner, especially with this stuff. Especially with this work, and that's something I have no hesitation in doing ever, you know. And when that person called this out as a cult, you know, that's something I've came across before. And again, ignorance is bliss. That person's from America, so they've never been to anything I've done before. They weren't at the event on Sunday. I'm thinking about all the good stuff that happened, the testimonials that were coming in on the Monday, the people that were just like putting their experience of it, the people who were sharing their experience of the day. It's like, and we know how this goes together, but it's different when other people are saying it. We know, the team knows how this is going to go. They've all been through it. I see it every single time. But when people come in with fresh eyes and they've maybe got a bit of experience doing different things, and when they're saying it, like, this is what it is, what they're saying, that's what we expect. And then when you get somebody who, like Disney, I agree with that. That's always interesting to me. It's fascinating, and straight away when you identify that, all right, she's from America. That person is from America, whatever she is, whatever they are, and they've never experienced it. They're looking in from the outside and going, right, okay, I get it. But then we need to go, well, this isn't a cult. You know, you can't say what this is as a cult, because the definition of a cult is everything goes towards the one, which would be me in this instance. And anybody that knows me personally knows that I don't fucking want any of that or them near me. I don't want to be the one. I want to show people how to, like, get to the one, being God, and how to be in alignment with that, and how to live in the principles of, like, Mother Nature and the way, and the oneness. But in terms of, like, me being the one, the way that I, like, fuck that. That's the polar opposite of what we do in here. It's all about self-reliance. It's all about responsibility. It's all about getting it for yourself. I'm getting it for me every single day. If you're not getting it, fuck off. You know, it's like, you need to get this for yourself. This is a hard school in terms of how it goes together. It's a hard school in terms of, like, this program that I'm teaching, that I'm sharing. These practices and principles, we're not fucking about. They take daily work every single day. And when you start to get the benefits from it, when you start to experience, especially the spiritual stuff, when you start to get into the kind of deeper spiritual experiences, and eventually when you get that place that I would call enlightenment, when you discover you experience that union of the divine perfection that you carry inside of you. When you start to reach that kind of stuff, then the whole game obviously changes. Everything's different. And you realise it's like, it's inside of you. There's nothing missing. You're not separate from it. We all have access to that. We're all equal. We're all part of the divine, all part of this greater good, certainly all part of consciousness. So that's the complete opposite of like religion. When you go in, it's like, come to me and I'll give it to you. That's what religion says. Come to us and we'll give it to you. A cult's the same thing. Come to me and I'm the one that'll if you do what I say and what I desire from you, depending on whatever that is. Fucking name your cult, whatever they do. I don't know. I don't watch a lot about it, but I know the definition. I know how it goes together. This is the opposite of that. So at that point, I had to stand up. At that point, I had to say, you know what? Nah, fuck that. This is not a cult. And then, how do you counteract that? And what's the counterbalance to that? Well, the counterbalance is the truth. Somebody who's in ignorance in Portland, America, standing up and saying this is a cult, that hasn't been there the day before and watched the most uncultish thing you've ever seen in your life. Like people standing in union with themselves, like feeling good, happy, hugging each other, like being like genuinely feeling joyful for maybe the first time in their life, maybe excited, or maybe even a wee bit of faith or even hope for the future for maybe the first time ever. So to say that's a cult, I need to say no. I can't have that. And then the way that it came through was for me to ask people, like, okay, so what is the truth? If you were there, if you've been through this experience, and I was thinking specifically about the ones that are run about me, ones that are in a circle, some that have been, the last probably 10 years, some of them. What's your experience of this? What do you're the ones that have seen it the most, you're the ones that have seen what it's done for yourself, you're the ones that have like saw what it's done for others. You've been on about me, you've saw the good, the bad and the ugly within me. Like, what is this? Is it all smoke and mirrors? Is it just a sales and marketing pitch? Are we just trying to get their fucking money? What is it? You tell me. And I made that public, which felt great at the time, because it was like, let's just see where we are. Let's just see what people think it. Let's see what they think this is, because most people don't know what it is. So there's an education process here. There's a normalisation process. When I'm a well-being event, but then I'm talking about spiritual well-being, then I'm talking about meditation, then not just that, I'm going to actually give you the experience of it. You're here anyway, why not get it? Why not come in and feel what it feels like to get out your head and stop thinking? Why not then reconnect back into the intelligence of your heart and maybe remember the goodness that you carry inside you? Would that be such a fucking a bad thing to do? That to me is the truth. This essence that we carry inside of us, that the fact that we don't know anything about it, the fact that it's been kept separate from us, the fact that the people are getting around in this illusion of what they think the truth is in terms of their identity, their lower self, their ego, their fucking bank balance, the things that they've achieved in this lifetime. They think that's the most important stuff. It's a bit of it, but it's not all of it. And I would say the other stuff, the stuff that money can't buy, that's the most important part. The bit that's eternal, the bit that can never die. The journey of the soul, the spiritual journey. So that's my work, So at some point I'm going to give that in there. I'm going to give it to people. I'm going to explain this what it is. If you don't want to date, you don't need to do it. But I need to go here because this is where I'm at with this, and this is where they're at with this as well. They people with blue jerseys on, most of them have experienced enlightenment. That's not a lie to say that. That's the truth. Most of them know that the divinity that they carry inside them is the exact same as the Creator, God the Creator, that creates everything that there is, all that we see. I am in the Father and the Father is in me. They know that as a truth. They've experienced it. Be still and know that I am God. They know, they've experienced that. Because of their journey and what it is that got them in about it, and then some of them thousands of hours devotional practice, but they know it now. Some people go it for the first time on Sunday. So when I ask them, like, tell me, what do you see? Easy for me, I know what it does. I think this is more valuable than fucking gold. I watch what this does. I see miracles every day with this, but you tell me so that I know, so that I can make it better, so that we can adjust. And then ask for that, and then there was a wave of people. Thank you so much. If you have done a review, please put it on Google, will you? The Facebook comments are great, but if you can put it on Google, that would be magic. That might be. I hope that's not too big an ask, but I'm actively asking for help. We need to shine the light on what the truth is, so we can fucking play down the naysayers and the ones that are having a go at it because they don't know what it is. Which brings me on to our next 1-star review. A man who was there obviously on Sunday and just had a real go, like a proper assault at me. Which again, I got that on Tuesday morning, probably 2:30, 3 in the morning. I've just put my phone on to put music on to meditate in the sacred space, and it caught my eye. I hit the wrong app, and it was like, right, okay, this guy doesn't like me. This guy did not enjoy. This guy did not have a well-being experience. And he really had a go at me. He really did. He went after me. He made one of the points he made I thought was valid right at the beginning. They said that I advised 400 people or 300 people to tape their mouth up, and I did. I always say that. I says if there's one thing that you leave here with, there's always some things you could take with you, and there's one thing you should try, and that's taping your mouth up at night time. Like, do yourself a favour. And what I should have said, but then I need to say this every single time, because thinking about it now, when you sign the terms and conditions, when you sign up for that day, you're taking full responsibility, and you're healthy enough to be there. You've got, if you need doctor's supervision, permission, or you need somebody's supervision to be there in terms of your own physical health and well-being, I'm kind of assuming that every single thing that I say does not need qualified by, if you're okay, then I would never get anything done. So when you sign that up, and when I'm speaking, I just assume that everybody's there is fit and healthy enough to get in the cold, to get in and do the breath work. I'm assuming they're fit and healthy enough to, get into the cold. If they choose to get into the cold, that was optional. You don't need to do that. So he called me out on that, which I thought, right, fair play, right, fair enough. But again, I made peace with that with the fact that, well, they've signed a disclaimer. They probably should be okay. And it's something. And I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if you did tape your mouth up? Like, nothing's going to blow up. I'm talking about a tiny wee bit of micropore tape. You can put it off with your tongue. It's not as if the world's going to fucking end because you tape your mouth up. And I know that some people with certain conditions, they struggle with it, but on the whole, and if you were at that day on Sunday and you've read the terms and conditions and you're agreed to listen to me, then you need to take responsibility, and if I say something like that. So that was fairly straightforward. And then there was another couple of things that he said. One of them was like it was like a standard YouTube tutorial, which I get as well. I mean, I've been doing this 30 years and I've learned for the best. I've spent thousands of hours learning breathwork. Whether I am now, I don't know, but at one point I was one of the most qualified in the world. When I trained with Patrick McFadyen, going back 2022, 23 maybe, I trained with Wim, so learned the basics in the science. Trained with Patrick McFadyen, and it was interesting when they sent me out the manuals. They sent me the wrong manuals. They sent me the Buteyko method manual, which is there somewhere. And so I studied the Buteyko method and then became an Oxygen Advantage instructor, an advanced instructor. So, and I spent 7 weeks every day with Patrick. And at the same time, I was listening to, all sorts of like scientific information and different authors and yogic breathing and that. I mean, it was a real intense qualification to become a breathwork instructor. And I don't really teach any of that, if I'm honest. I teach the basics of it. I teach functional breathwork to begin with, so you know how to do it. I teach you how to manage your nervous system, up and down, how to like de-escalate the stress, how to, there's loads of different things, but for me the intentional breath is what I teach. So once you know the basics, then it's how we go on that internal journey. And the kind of, to say that, what I'm talking about, I can imagine there are like tutorials on YouTube that sound a lot like that, but the way that I'm doing it and the experience that I provided with the intentional breath, there's nothing like that on YouTube. There isn't. And, the guy then went on to call me out in terms of like, I should be into sales and marketing. I told a story about a young girl that came who was having between 20 and 30 panic attacks a day after a vaccination. This is going back probably 4 or 5 years ago. And when I speak the truth. I really do. I've never ever had to exaggerate or make something better than it ever kind of was in order to try and sell something. And this is where I have to stand up and go, nah, for whatever reason you're having a go here, there's certain things that I would hold my hand up, like the first one with the mouth tape, and I've explained that. But the rest of the stuff just feels like anger and bitterness, possibly towards something that I've said. It might have been the fact that, I was talking about, my relationship and what I thought of organised religion. It could be my stance on anti-vaccination. It could be a number of things. Who knows? When you're speaking to a amount of people, who knows? One person, there's a good chance that obviously I did offend them. That's what it felt like to go to an event like that, to get what everybody else got, and to come out and really start chucking bricks and have a real go. It feels like something happened that day that they took offence at, and then at that point it was like, okay, let's just see how much you can take me out. So that was, that wasn't ideal. The breath work, when he talks about the breath work in the tutorial, and as a basic thing, I'm like, nah. And then that fed into the next bit, where he said that you should be like sales and marketing, talking about 20 to 30 panic attacks a day. And I'm going, well, everything I've said is the truth. There's nothing that I've said there that isn't. When that girl came inside the first 5 or 10 minutes, she was in multiple panic attacks when she sat down, and I taught her how to like regulate her chemistry within her body with a really simple exercise. Patrick McCone calls it the emergency exercise. Basically nose pinching, breathing in, breathing out, pinch your nose 5 times, takes 2 or 3 minutes, and then you breathe into cupped hands, so you're breathing back in the carbon dioxide. You're basically your body's chemistry back into balance, getting the blood chemistry balance back into harmony and stopping the panic attack. And that girl, when that first night, what happened? She had one more panic attack, I do believe, and that was because her man was out on a bender. He was away for a weekend or somewhere. I didn't get into late one night, but apart from that, she was having 20 to 30 panic attacks a day. So for him to then say that's a lie and call me out on it, I need to say no, like fuck off. That's the truth. That literally happened. That actually happened. That's a true story. So how you prove that, we need to get her up and ask her, and whether she'd be willing to do that, I don't know. But it's like, this is where when you see these people and they come at you and that they've got, I'm wondering what has it made you like that to have a real go at me, to make and try and bring me to that level after what we've just done, what we've just achieved, and how did you get that experience in it? I find that absolutely fascinating. I really do. I find that amazing. 99.9% of awesomeness and just one, the fly in the ointment, the kind of... a guy I used to work with used to say the shite in the trifle, which I love, that analogy, and it's just like that one bit, you kind of just, it takes your attention to it, and it's not made me angry, that's not at all. It's made me interested and fascinated, and I suppose I need to be aware of like who's in the audience, and I'm never going to like restrict what I say. That's never going to happen. I'm speaking from my heart. I work for God. I'm a soldier of God. I'm here for the light. You can call me what you like, but the evidence is that this stuff works, and we're going to demerit it. And the evidence is that people really liked it, most of them, and they're looking for more, and they want help with it, because these ancient practices make things better in ways that modern medicine and fucking whatever it is that's going out in the world doesn't seem to be working on, doesn't seem to work, doesn't seem to make things better. This stuff makes things better. That's what we see time and time again. So at that point, they're going to come. They're going to come. There's always one. And my mum, God rest her soul, used to be like, I remember at the time when I come back from Ibiza, and she was like, for everybody that's turned their back on you, the other ones that have like turned away from you, it's like, fuck them. Fuck them. This is it, your family, the ones that stand beside you, especially in times of adversity. And that's where me asking for people to put in testimonials. Let's hear, let's the world see what this is actually doing. That's the fairest way to do it. I can talk about it, I can say I see miracles every day, but it's like when somebody else talks about their experience, one of my biggest goals is to get people talking about their experiences with the Vortex. A lot of people don't do it. It's fascinating. I find it really, really surprising. I find it disappointing. Some of them it saved their life. Some of them are in a position of like influence and they could be helping by talking about it, but they don't. I find that fascinating as well. And I've never asked for help, but I'm asking now. So if you have been helped, then be wary, because I'm coming for you. We need to tell people what this is. We need to take this to the world and show people. By other people talking about it, it's a great way of doing it. By other people going, you know what? This is what I did. This is what this did for me. This is what I do. These are my practices. This is how this goes together. This is what meditation means to me. Some of the people that are now sitting in meditation every single day, brickies. No offence to brickies. Like fucking, when you think of a brickie, it's like, that exact guy sitting in meditation. Roofers, mechanics, businessmen, businesswomen, housewives, students, sitting in meditation. Every normal people with normal lives that now know what meditation is. Breathing with intention. Why? Because they don't want to feel anxious going to fucking work. Breathing with intention before they go to sleep at night. Why? Because they want to fucking sleep. They want to switch their head off so they can get a good night's sleep because of what's coming up the next day. So much goodness came out of that day. It was brilliant. Thank you so much to everybody that came. Thanks to Michael. Thanks to the team. Thanks to my wife, Jill, and my Waynes for all of their support. But, what's next? What is next? That's the next bit. What is next? And what's next for anybody that was there? I think the first one's already sold out. One of the big, there's many flagships now within the Vortex, but One Day to Change Your Life is the next big event. So once you get through an experience like that, then it's to kind of, right, okay, let's come in and give us a full day, please. And we'll explain like what's going on and what you should be working on, what we're working on, what these practices are. Let's get them let's get you to a point where you're able to like bring them into your life. Let's get them to a point where you understand what you're meant to be doing. So you learn the breath work at a different level. You learn, the experience of the meditation, something that is a big part of that day. You come in and like see and learn what the program is. What is the program behind this? What is it that holds all this up? What's the foundations for this? Why are they getting success? Well, there's a method to it. There's a reasons for doing it. There's a plan. There's a practice. And it's vast, and there's many different bits to it, and you don't need to do it all. In fact, you only need to do one or two bits of it probably. It's just finding whatever that is for you. And one day to change your life, that's what we do with that day. We basically take you to a place that you've probably never been before, and we go deep, and in one day we will remember what it's all about, and you'll remember who you are in a way you've never felt before. It's an exciting day. It's a great day, and the next one, I think we're looking at another date now, because I think the first one sold out inside a couple of days after the event, which is fantastic. And then that's you and about it then. That one day to change your life, that's you and about it. And at the same time, we've got the program in the background, we've got the app, and the way we're looking to change up how that goes together. There's a community itself, all the kind of one-on-one stuff within the community, the kind of meetups and the get-togethers and the online stuff, and then there's a retreat as well. We've just announced another retreat, which the date's going to go. That's already been released, I think, to those that are part of the community. But the next retreat is going to be up in November, up on the west coast of Scotland again. We're back, the ceremony retreat, so that's back on the table as well. We've now got at least one, possibly two ceremony retreats before the end of the year. So that's what's next. That's the next part. That's the part of the expansion. And then once you learn that, which takes anything for 6 weeks to 6 years, depending on how bad you want it and how much you need to bring it into your life. Depending on where you're at, depending on where you're going, like who you're trying to become, what you're trying to achieve. Everybody's different, and the program and the tools and techniques make everything better. It's all encompassing. Or all-inclusive maybe is maybe a better word, because it's a spiritual journey and a physical journey, so we're catering for everything. The bird that needs two wings to fly, we need the spiritual wings, but we also need the human wings as well. And these times are challenging, these times are difficult. There's something about the community I feel is the most important part of it, what we're doing here, being about like-minded souls that, are going in the same direction, maybe going in a slightly different way or a slightly different path, but as long as we're all going in the same direction. I've always known that there's no kind of finish line, they don't ever get there. The journey of the soul is eternal, so as long as we're going in the right direction, heading towards the light, keep our head above water and enjoying the journey. And doing that with like-minded souls, I've found over these last few years, I've had many groups that have came and went. And this group that I've got just now, that we have just now, that the community has created over the last 2 years, is something really special. It really is. There's a real power to it. There's not that many, but it's perfect. We're looking at ways to develop that. There's all different levels in terms of what people want to get involved in. And right up to the top level with those that are, I walk beside and I see almost every single day in the meditations, or many times like during the week in person. The ones that are helping me with this mission, the ones that are helping me take this to the world. There's many people now in that place, in that position, where they want to help. Paying it forward is just fantastic. So many people are trying to help in so many different ways. People giving donations, like so grateful for those that donated that day. We funded all that day ourselves, and it costs money. Those Facebook ads, they don't get them for nothing. It's all the costs to put something like that on, and all the people that gave their time up with the intention to help people. It's so powerful, and so many positives, and so excited for what's next. This is going to be, it's a springboard now. The vortex has changed massively for whatever reason. It just feels like divine timing. The timing is right for me. The timing is right for Michael. The timing is right for the team. There's one or two members that have came on board that are going to be helping us be proactive and get it out there, so we can help more people. I want to take as much money as I can for those that have got it, take for the rich, and then we'll give it to the ones that don't have it or can't afford it. Everybody needs to get this. These are basic fundamental tools that everybody should know. Everybody should know. And not too far in the distant future, to scale this up, we're already talking about, where could we go? What's a big event? Where can we do something? Indoors would be great. Whether it's an entire day or an entire weekend. I think like the Hydro or the Armadillo, and having that for a well-being weekend. And Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and just bringing women and wains and all sorts of people with all sorts of challenges, and just teaching them the very, very basics, teaching them how to breathe, giving them the opportunity to learn how to switch off their nervous system. Seeing what the mouth tape's like, so see whether the mouth tape suits them. Seeing what cold exposure's like. It doesn't need to be an ice bath up to your neck. It might be your hands on a bucket of ice, to help deal with some like chronic pain or inflammation, or there's so many different things. The meditation side is hugely, that calls me hugely. If you can imagine the hydro, like filled with people sitting in meditation. Can you imagine that for a Saturday night out in the hydro? That would change the world. So who knows? It's exciting stuff. We are designing and dreaming and planning and putting together every single day just now. I am loving it. I'm excited just now. It feels like we've been trying to get there for quite a bit to this bit, and it feels like we're here. It feels like we've not just arrived, but it's playing with us. It's helping us. There's a lot of support and assistance coming from higher powers, it feels like just now, I'll be honest with you. So we'll take every bit of help we can get in these difficult times. And UpLifted, I feel UpLifted, number 86 is UpLifted. We did what we set out to do. We raised the awareness, we raised consciousness, we raised the vibration, and we lifted up so many people on that day. And in the process, so many families, communities, entire streets. When one person goes back home in alignment, when you feel the way that you felt when you left there on Sunday, and you go back into your house, your scheme, your flat, your building, your whatever the fuck it is, then at some level, everything on about you gets better. It does. That's provable. That's a fact. That's a literal provable fact. So 400 people uplifted back into the world. What's it going to be like when there's 4,000? And then what's it going to be like when there's 400,000? And that is how we counteract and fight against the insanity, the protesting and the fighting and the separation game. It's through union that we win. It's through reconnection back to the truth and living in that way, being in alignment with the way, the divine way is how we win, how we get back to the way that it's meant to be. And that's really exciting, so onwards and upwards. Number 86, uplifted. God bless you and yours. Thank you if you did come, and looking forward to the next part. Looking forward to seeing you again very soon. Peace out, God bless, and bye for now.